It's time for positive actions.
Hola. Es hora de acción positiva.
Positiva. Oh my goodness. I'm sending a hug to you, Miss Shema, and to you, Morgan County scholars. Look, Mrs. Hot and Miss Shema. Guess what? Miss Shema, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Hey, you want to tell the kids we've got something pretty awesome coming up?
Yes, we have something really cool. We were talking with your principal here at the school in Morgan County, and they have really wonderful advice to tell you. They are sharing their routine, their life now, what they are doing, what the positive action that they are using. It's pretty cool.
It's really cool. So stay tuned. Coming up on Fun Fridays, boys and girls, on the Daily Positive Action Community Vlogcast, Shema and I are going to talk to your principals. And you know what? They really miss you. They told us so, didn't they, Shema?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Your principals are missing you guys. So coming soon, we have a special interview. Warm Springs Intermediate, the middle school, Paw, Pleasant View, and Mr. Nida at Berkeley Springs High School. Right, Shema?
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Are you wondering what they've been up to? How about you, Shema?
Yes.
What do you think Mr. Beckman's doing right now?
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think Mr. Cable's been doing? Who's putting the flag up? Want to find out? So tune in on a Friday, guys, because they're talking about you. And boy, they've been really busy, haven't they, Shema?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, here we go.
Positive action word for this week is empathy. And in Spanish, empatía. Empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another.
Ready? Woohoo! It's time for positive actions.
Es hora de acción positiva.
Positiva. Wow, Morgan County scholars. Look who's here with us today. Yay! For Fun Friday, we have a treat for you, boys and girls. And for the daily vlogcast, we are going to meet our PAWsome principals. Yay! Woo, 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 woo. And our first, go ahead. Can you say hello, Mr. Cable?
Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're doing your work. I hope you're safe. And I hope you feel good about yourselves.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Cable. Well, Shema and I and the students, we've been wondering what you've been doing. So we want to ask you a couple questions. Can you tell us, like, what is your new routine like with the stay-at-home order? Like, what's your life like and work life, having to do everything from home now? What's changed? What's new?
Well, some things don't change. My staff and my kids know I get up early, and usually I go to school, but I get up early still. And I do some emails, and I get online, and I do some of my work before everybody else gets there, because that's how I've always done it.
Yeah.
And you can tell I go outside a little bit. I'm dressed a little different. So
Sure.
I go out and I work in the garden, cut some firewood, do something outside.
That's awesome. All right, go ahead, Shema.
What is your normal, like, what routines do you have to have like a healthy diet, or if you do any exercise, or what do you suggest for the students?
Well, I do. I've got some property out here, so I walk around my property every day. It's probably about a half a mile. When we go to the grocery store, the first thing we do is go to the aisle with the radishes and the grapes and the oranges, and we start there. And one thing that I do now that I don't always do at school is I stop and eat lunch. Sometimes at school I just keep going.
Oh,
So I'm taking care of myself that way.
good.
Still getting lots of sleep, and doing the things, regular to help my body. So
That's awesome. All of those things you said are positive actions we talk about in the classroom with Shema and everybody. Exercise, diet, great choices. Yay, doing those positive actions, Mr. Cable.
to do that,
That's awesome. Now, tell us this. Are there, since there's more time at home, are there some books or movies you've been catching up on or watching during the quarantine? And
well, I don't watch a lot of movies, but I've been reading some history. Right now, I'm reading a book called Game Change, and it's about how Barack Obama got elected to President of the United States. And I read a book about some of the history of Italian food, which, I'm a chef, so I enjoy that. So I'm reading some history that's a little bit different than the history we usually read.
Interesting. Cool.
So I think you're doing like a lot of things, but sometimes we get bored. What do you do for keep you from getting bored? Like, what is the things that you do?
Well, I probably do what everybody else does, and that's when I complained that I'm bored, and I hate this, and I'm bored, because that's part of it. But one thing I do is a friend of mine who retired last year from teaching, Mrs. Betcher, Mrs. Betcher, gave me some paints. So I've been doing acrylic painting.
Really?
Yes.
Do you have anything you can show us near you there? Oh, here he comes.
Okay, so this is a place on the farm that my parents used to own. My parents passed away, but they had this really cool farm, and this is one of the places on the farm.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Love it.
Oh, the trees. You painted that?
Yes, I did.
Wow, look at that. Good job, Mr. Cable.
Well, thank you.
Now this question, now you can imagine all the kids are home with siblings now, and there might be some disagreements or arguments or sibling fights going on. Do you have any advice for families, like what to do when we're getting on each other's nerves? Anything?
Yeah, and it's something, I have a brother and 4 sisters, so we had a big family, and sometimes we get snowed in because we lived up north in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
and sometimes you just had to go, stop, I'm out of here, go to another place in the house.
Oh, want to know something interesting? You said stop next week or the week that we'll have your video. So it'll be a song called The Stop Song that Miss Butts had at MC After 3.
I remember
perfect.
That.
Yeah, so we're going to share that on the vlogcast the week that we share your video. That's cool. So sometimes kids, if they're getting on your nerves, you just have to say, wait, and stop. That's a positive action to stop. Right. Okay, what else do we have, Mr. Cable?
And the next question is, how are you keeping both your physical and emotional wellness healthy? And what you should students be doing?
Yeah, the emotional part is hard.
Yeah.
We're not used to this. I think the physical part is fairly easy for me. I go outside and cut wood and work in my garden, so that part's easy. But the emotional part is hard. So one thing I've done is I use Zoom, and we Zoom every week with my brothers and sisters. And I have been Zooming my own kids. I have 2 kids, Adam and Alicia. We've done Zoom, and we do things, try to help other people. Miss Angie will know this. I have a friend, we'll call him Lawyer Larry.
Yeah.
And he and I cut wood together. And so yesterday we went out and we cut some wood, and we just cut it and take it to people and say, here you go. So it makes us feel good. It helps them and gives us some physical activity. And Lawyer Larry and I have known each other for 5 decades. So we get to spend some time together and have a coffee and just talk about things. So that helps.
That's awesome. And our next question, Mr. Cable, is what positive actions are you doing or do you see going on during the pandemic? Positive actions are out there when there's a crisis, and you just told us about a positive action that you're doing. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, and I think also, you know, a lot of things we're doing online, we're doing on our computers, and I'm seeing a lot of positive things there, a lot of positive comments and statements about how we appreciate the people who are helping us, about how we're staying away from each other if we have to, because it helps somebody else. So even things that we're not doing ourselves, we're talking about, and we're looking and we're watching other people do positive things.
Yeah, there's a bright side. We have to look at the bright side to help us.
Right.
Absolutely. Now this is a hard question next.
Yes. Well, the next one is, do you feel that is real, and what advice do you have for families?
Oh boy, that's a tough one too, because everybody does it a little bit different.
Yeah.
I know you both have children, so I think one thing you do is you stay in touch with your own kids. I also have friends, child friends who live in this neighborhood, and I get to see them on Facebook or wave at them across the fence and that kind of stuff. There's a family called the Brinnegers. You might know them, live right next door, and so we say hi to them. Yeah. So we just try to reach out and do family things that we'd always do, which is give everybody a hug when you're allowed to, and wave and say hi when you can.
That's awesome. Now, that I know it's confusing. It's confusing for me, all the information, and sometimes, you know, that for me, when I do, like you said, you have to say stop. I just have to stop and turn off the TV and just enjoy. I noticed that I kind of like being home, and we've had like dinner every night. We've been cooking crazy things, and everybody's at the table to eat together when we're not having to jump up and run to a practice and something like that. And so of all of the confusion, I found some peace, actually.
Yeah. And we do things. We go to church every Sunday, and no, we don't drive there, but we get on our phones and we listen to the pastor and we interact with people. So that's something that we always do anyway.
Yeah.
And we're still going to church, and we still get our mail every day, and we still do the things that we've always done every day.
Right. Right.
It's about how are you feeling? Like, you feel anxious, stressed, lonely?
Yeah, that's interesting, because, you know, as a leader of a school, you think that you're always supposed to be in charge and be on top of it, but I do feel anxious. This is a different thing. I've never had to deal with this, and I don't know how to do it. And it's hard for me because I like to go meet people, and when you guys are in the school, I come down and see you every day, and I can't do that. So it's confusing, it's frustrating. And it does make me anxious. I do feel that way. On the other hand, we keep getting online every day. Every morning I send an assignment to all my teachers, so they have something to do every day. And then that makes them email back to me, and it keeps us in touch. But yeah, I feel anxious too, and I'm not sure where we're going or what it's going to look like, but I think everything's going to be okay, and we're just going to keep moving ahead.
Beautiful. And that's kind of, I'm so glad you shared that, because I feel comforted hearing that come from Mr. Cable. So I'm sure the students will too. Thank you. Now, I know this is real recent. Yesterday, Governor Justice just declared no more school in the school buildings for the rest of the year. So could you tell our school families what's your advice for students about that? And if you also want to share, because I've already seen on social media too, any ideas for anything creative for our 5th grade commencement, since we won't be back in the building?
Yeah, don't stop. School is still going on. Like you said, Miss Hott, it looks different, but it's still school. Keep connecting with people. Keep talking to your teachers. Your teachers love it. They miss you. And we keep doing our work, and we keep turning it back in the only way that we can. Most of it's online. We just keep doing it. We've already lined up a speaker for commencement, which we did before we had this break, and she's agreed to record her message. And I'm not sure how we're going to do it, but we are going to have a 5th grade commencement. And starting tomorrow, we're going to start voting on the awards that we do every year. Some things we can't do. We can't do the carnival. We can't do field day. But we are going to have, I don't know how, but somehow we're going to have our awards ceremony. And we already have our diplomas. So Miss Tammy's working on that. We're going to fill those out. And we're going to get them to kids. And the other thing I think is really important that we're talking about is in a couple of months, when some of this starts to go away, I know it's not all going to go away, we're going to get together. Maybe at the middle school or maybe at the intermediate school, and it'll look different, but we're going to figure out a way to get together and get these kind of hugs and do that. So,
Yay!
we'll work on it.
That's so encouraging. I can't wait for people to hear that. Mr. Cable, you're awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, the next one is, what do you like to say to your students? Like, imagine if they're in your living room at your house right now, and will you comfort their anxious or their fears? What do you want to tell them to be confident?
I think the big disappointment is I don't get to give you a hug. I don't get to come in and if you know me well, you know that I pick on kids. Not in a bad way, not a bullying way, but I do like to tease. And so I miss teasing kids and talking about the things that we're doing every day. I miss grabbing kids and saying, hey, let's go do something in the building that needs to be done, that kind of thing. So, I miss that kind of thing, but I think the important thing is if we keep doing school, keep staying in touch. I know what you're doing. I talk to your teachers. I email your teachers. I know some of you are struggling with the schoolwork, and I know some of you are not staying in the home that you usually stay in. I know that. I know that's a struggle. So even though we're not seeing each other every day, I'm still part of your life. You're still part of mine.
That's awesome. That's a positive outlook. And hearing that from you, Mr. Cable, will certainly help their emotional wellness through this trying time for sure. Now, the next thing I want to close with is a sort of a what's next, because I don't know if you saw it yet, Shama, but I saw in today's paper, the Morgan Messenger, a great story about Warm Springs Intermediate School. And it shared that after this year, Mr. Cable, you're getting ready to retire. So,
I am.
Yeah, so now for me, that, because you talk about being in the school, and one of the most, this is the 6th years I've come to your school every week for Positive Actions, and walking in, boys and girls in Morgan County, walking into the intermediate school, you see Mr. Cable, he's this tall, with 2 students, and they go out and they raise the flag, and he teaches them the proper way and the procedures for that, and there's a flag ceremony that happens. And for me, in my heart, it's a beautiful picture to see. Mostly the sun's coming up over the intermediate school this way, and it's shining on the school, and there's this beautiful silhouette of a principal who loves his students, and he's raising the flag, and inside there are 400 children and staff getting ready for their school day. So for me, I'm really going to miss that. I'm really going to miss that when you go, because that's such a beautiful tradition. I think that symbolizes. So you're about to retire. So what are you going to do next?
Maybe they'll let me come every morning and raise the flag.
Oh, there
That's
you go.
something you can do. You can be retired and do that.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
I do a lot with gardening and nutrition, and so I'm going to put my focus in helping kids with gardening and nutrition. That never goes away, and I think this is kind of showing us, this event that we're going through now, how important that is, and how we have to rely on ourselves for gardening and nutrition. And so I'll probably do that. I'll miss putting up the flag.
Yeah, and what a treat for all of those students. Imagine over the years that you've been a principal, all of the kids that had that one-on-one time with you to raise the flag. That's stuff you remember.
Oh, it's definitely a special time of the day.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. Well, I think that's all our questions. Ms. Shama, can you think of anything else? How about you, Mr. Cable? Anything else you want to add before we go?
Nope, just repeat, we miss everybody. Keep doing school. School has not stopped. Keep doing it.
Right.
And we're there for you. Even though we're not right there, we're still there for you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for being positive. Here's Mom sending you a big hug.
It was fun. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
All righty. Thanks so much. You have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I am a positive action kid. That's what I am.